Okay, let's be real. You do not need any more Canva Reels, any random posts, or any captions that you got from ChatGPT to try to get a sale. You need a brand strategy that speaks, sells, and is scalable. Because right now, your content is not doing the work for you. You're just putting out a bunch of noise. Now here, let me ask you a question. If someone landed on your page right now, would they immediately know who you are, what you do, and how to work with you? Now, if the answer is no, this video is for you. You do not need more content. You need a strategy that is going to make you money in your business. You need this exact brand system that I am going to give you in this video that helps you speak, sell, and scale your brand. You don't need any more content. You need clarity in your brand that makes your brand speak, sell, and scale. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down the exact method, the exact strategy, the exact blueprint that has helped the entrepreneurs that are inside of Build Her Brand create a solid brand message with brand clarity and brand positioning that allows their brand to speak, sell, and scale, and making their brands unforgettable, unfakeable, and undeniably profitable. Now, here's the thing. Most entrepreneurs think they have a content problem or they have a consistency problem. The issue is actually not the content or your consistency, because that varies. The issue is your messaging. You are not clearly communicating the value that your brand or your offer has. So when people land on your page, essentially, they don't know what to do. They see the content, they love it, they like it. They're not converting it to a sale. They're clicking the link, but they're not actually buying. And let me tell you why. Because your brand is actually not doing the job. So that means that your brand is not clearly communicating to your audience who you are, what you do, and the value that you provide, and how they could work with you and what problem you help solve with your offer. So essentially, you're posting, but you're not positioning yourself as the go-to person in your industry. So you're visible and you're posting the content probably 3 times a day, but the content is not valuable. So you don't have a visibility issue, you have a value issue, babe. So what I do is help entrepreneurs get really clear on who they're actually speaking to. So when they're creating the content, they understand their target audience pain point. They understand the psychographics of their audience and exactly what they are looking for when they come on their page, on your page. And you're creating content tailored around being the solution. So that's where the authority comes in, because now you're positioning yourself as the solution. Your offer is the solution. You have the secret sauce. You have the key to solve a problem. And this is exactly what I teach you inside of the Build Her Brand Method. So the reason why I created this, because I was definitely one of those girls that was putting the content out. I had the aesthetics, I had the edits, I was doing the thing, child, right? But my content was not converting. So people essentially were engaging in the content. They were clicking the link in my bio, but they were not buying. And child, that was so frustrating. And then I had to learn how to turn my content into a system and turn my messaging into money, because messaging is key, you guys. If you cannot speak about your brand and about your offer, people will not buy. It doesn't matter how consistently you're posting the content. If the messaging is not there, people are not going to know what to do. They're going to be confused, and they're probably not going to buy because you didn't clearly communicate the value and communicate it in a way that is irresistible. And here's the thing. My clients, the girls that are inside of Build Her Brand, the reason why they locked in with me, because they know I don't BS and I don't fluff. I give it to you exactly the way that you need it, because I know how frustrating it is to have a business, to have an offer, and you're posting the content and you're being as consistent as possible, but it's not converting into a sale. And so my clients essentially hired me or locked into Build Her Brand because I showed them exactly what they need to do in order to stand out online, and how to sell without begging, and also how to build a brand that does the heavy lifting so that you don't. Now, here's exactly how we do it. Let me walk you briefly through the Build Her Brand method. You ready? Let's get into it. So step number one, you have to clarify it. So your messaging has to be so clear when you are communicating to your audience in your content. And so I created Build Her Brand and the Build Her Brand Method to help my audience get really clear and clarify their brand message so that they know how to communicate it in their content. So you're not just creating content just to create content. And we're definitely not creating meaningless content. We are creating cash flow content. And this is where people start finally understanding who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, and where to buy from you, and also why it matters. So after we clarify it, we have to go ahead and package it now, right? So the way that we package it is by creating content that positions you as the go-to. Now, have you ever noticed people that are just posting online and they post and they don't even get paid off of that content? And that's because they're just talking online and they're putting noise in the algorithm, but they're not positioning their brand as the solution. They're not necessarily providing value in their content. So people will engage in it, they'll like it up, but they didn't really give them a sense of direction. And that's typically POV content, lifestyle content, spend the day with me type of content, where it's good nurture content and nurturing your audience and letting your audience see a different side of you, but it's not conversion content. And that's why that style of content doesn't work, because it's not teaching, nor is it selling. Okay, so once we clarify it and we package it, now we have to scale the bad boy, right? So once I help you clarify your message and I help you package it in your content and create a system around that, now it's time to scale. Now with this method, I help you go from being good at branding to getting paid consistently. Now I used to post content with a bunch of edits and my brand work and lifestyle content, but there was nothing connecting the two. And so people love my content, they love the vibe, they were like, okay girl, like that's cute or whatever, do your biggest one. But they didn't understand the value that I was trying to communicate or convey in the content. Now, once I got clear and I built the system and started leading with purpose, everything changed. Now I don't chase the clients anymore, child. The content does the work for me. I hired my content to do the work. Now, the Build Her Brand Method works because people don't buy because the content looks good, right? People don't buy because of the aesthetic. People buy because the value was communicated well in the messaging. It's packaged well. It's clear, it is concise, and the communication centered around your target audience wants, needs, and desires is visible in the content. So essentially, you're communicating the value all the time in your content. And so when your brand is clear, it's strategic, and it's consistent, you attract the right people, your content starts doing the work for you, your content starts building trust, and you stop over explaining yourself and feeling like you have to beg for a sale every time you get online. And so with this method that my clients are learning inside of Build Her Brand, now inside of Build Her Brand, we break it down piece by piece by piece. Like we do everything in series form to make sure that you are clear and you have a strong understanding of how to show up online, a strong understanding of your brand, because some of you guys may not have a brand identity, which is also why it's hard for you to show up online and post the content that connects to the offer, because you may have started a business with absolutely no branding. So essentially, we're not just putting out cute aesthetics, even though it's nice, right? But the messaging and the way that you position yourself in the industry, all that is going to be essential. So I help my clients go from posting and praying that something clicks, praying that somebody clicks the link in the bio, to building a brand that speaks, that sells, and that is scalable. And let me tell you this, because a lot of people think, well, I need to have a lot of followers in order to grow my business. No, you don't need a big following. You don't need a sales funnel. You don't need to put 12 hours a day online. And so this works because it's built to position you, build trust, and drive sales. So if you're a business owner and you're not getting consistent sales in your business and your brand isn't doing the heavy lifting, your brand isn't doing the job, and you feel like you have to come online and beg for a sale, it's not because you're not talented. And I really want to say the passion is not the issue, because the passion is probably there even though you're struggling to show up consistently. It simply is because your brand is not doing its job. So the longer that you wait to fix your messaging, to fix your content, to fix your offer positioning, the longer you stay stuck, invisible, frustrated, overwhelmed, and unpaid. And essentially it's going to become harder to stand out, which is going to cost you over time money to run ads because the algorithm isn't pushing your content out. This is why you need this now. You need access to the Build Her Brand bundle. Now let me tell you what's inside of the Build Her Brand bundle. So inside, you're going to get access to my mentorship. You're going to get access to my whole business branding workbooks, trackers, all of that. So inside of the Build Her Brand mentorship, you're going to get access to weekly calls every Thursday and co-working sessions on Saturdays. So within this class, you are going to be able to clarify your message, create content that converts, position you as the authority, and build a system that speaks, sells, and is scalable. Now, it's only $111. And before you say, oh my God, $111, it's $111 to finally put you in a position to grow and scale your business so it's actually making money. If you knew that you can make $100,000 by getting clear on your branding and your messaging and your content, and all you had to do was pay $111, would you do it? If the answer is yes, I want you to go ahead and click the link down below and get inside of the Build Her Brand community. Once you get inside, I want you to go in, take your shoes off, get comfortable, and introduce yourself, because we got some work to do. So let's build a brand that actually pays you and works as hard as you do. See you inside.